the first rates will start to come up. We'll look at indices and we'll look at stocks. Okay, the Nifty is starting at about 22,433, small green, small up, about 0.25%. So it's higher. Nifty Bank is up about 1/3%. And there is 48,200 plus. Mid-cap index is up 0.15. Small-cap index is up about 0.4% or so. You've got about 30-35 names higher and about 20-odd stocks, less than 20 stocks, which are lower at this point in time. Too early to look at market breadth, but I mean, stocks are still opening up. But it's a decent start, about 70 points higher, 22,500 nearly, but not quite there. Survi.
Okay, let's get down to stocks and not bad, about 80 points higher on the Nifty. Innocent Bank reacting well to the reassuring statements coming in from the Reserve Bank of India. I mean, RBI basically reminding everybody about the latest capital adequacy ratios and other parameters, saying the bank is in a healthy financial position, 4% up over there. Bajaj Finserv about 1.5%. Tata Motors has some green on it, 1.5% higher. Among the other large caps that are on the green side, L&T about 1%. ICICI Bank is looking good. ITC is up about 0.5%. Reliance is aiding the bulls' cause, at least this morning, so far about 0.5% higher. So these are the early movers on the upside. Let me look at what is down, I mean, if anything, in a meaningful way. BPCL, Britannia, Nestle, these are some of the names on the downside. And the tech names, remember tech was a big drag last week because of this whole concern about if the US growth is faltering, then what happens to BFSI spends. That's still kind of playing through the system because Wipro, HCL Tech, Infosys, TCS, all of them are either flat or slightly negative to start the day. So tech remains a bit of a spot for bother. But otherwise, it's looking good, 80 points higher and holding. The Bank Nifty is actually leading from the front now with a gain of about almost 0.5%.
Even in the broader markets, tech remains to be a bit of a drag right now. We have First Source, which is lower. We have a bunch of other tech names as well, which are lower. But the broader markets are a lot better than what the index would tell you. The index tells you that the mid-cap index is up around 1.5%, but we have 1,400 stocks which have opened in the green, as against 630 which are in the red. The ones which are in the green, we have Muthoot Finance, which is doing extremely well. Obviously, gold financiers benefit from gold prices being at a record high. We have a couple of these other names as well, metal names. NMDC has moved higher, about 2% higher on that counter. Bandhan Bank up about 2%. We have Hudco, GSPL, Crompton, all of them sitting with gains of about 2 to 2.5%. On the way down, LTI Mindtree, like you pointed out, down 3%. First Source down 3%. We are seeing some weakness in Tube Investments as well, down 3%. And some profit taking on names like Polycab and Jubilant Foodworks. In the cash market stocks, the ones which really stand out on the way down, we have Gensol. Continues to fall, ended last week with a big cut and continues to fall this morning as well. Post-close on Thursday, we got the outcome of the board meet where the company has announced fundraising and at the same time they've announced a stock split as well. Street doesn't have any of that. It's down about 5% on that stock once again. Senco Gold continues to fall in this despite gold prices being higher. We'll keep an eye out on that one. Titan has opened higher, whereas we've seen some weakness in Kalyan Jewellers continue.
Just adding one more stock, which is Ola. Remember this whole issue of their registration agency, Rosemerta, saying that they should be taken to bankruptcy court. That stock's down 2.5% right now.
50 rupees, under 50 rupees now on Ola. Well, 80 points higher on the Nifty, 22,480, 490 is where we have what we have on the index right now. So it's becoming a little stronger, but we'll see. Not quite at 22,500 still. And, I think the 20-day moving average is even higher. I think it needs to travel another 100 points upwards before we get to the 20-day, which is the first solid daily moving average, above which I think there'll be more interest which starts to come through. But otherwise, it's a decent-looking screen that we have. Lots of 2-3% movers, although volumes are still just about picking up at this point in time. I mean, there's actually volume on the downside as well, so don't lose sight of that. Manappuram, Muthoot is up, Manappuram is down. Mobi Quick, I can spot, is down about 3%. I'm not sure there's any news flow here. There's Phoenix Limited, which is down 1.5%. Greaves Cotton is down 2%. There's, IKS is down 6.5%. IKS essentially is the, essentially they work with US hospital companies and insurers in the US, essentially to streamline and make their processes more cost efficient. So it's completely, the business is completely in the US. I'm not sure if there is any specific news flow here. But
there was only this article
yeah.
that I read over the weekend, which had nothing to do with business operations, basically highlighting how IKS is now, Mr. Jhunjhunwala's largest holding, above Titan as well. So that really did the rounds over the weekend. But again, that had nothing to do with the business fundamentals. I don't know if there's any selling that's happened, but volumes are only 35,000. I don't think any major selling.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing on the fundamentals.
Yeah, absolutely. It's since the IPO, it's not a phenomenal performer, but of course, I mean, everything is corrected as well in the market fall. So we'll sort of dig deeper and figure out if there's anything which is affecting the sentiment in this one.